Sometimes your car starts acting weird. Strange RPM, hard shifts, loss of power, shaking, stalling, bad fuel economy, a check engine light, or no check engine light, but the car still feels wrong. And you start asking yourself, is this a big problem? Is my engine failing? Is my transmission gone? Do I need a mechanic? Here's the truth. A huge percentage of strange car behavior is not an actual component failure. It's your car's computer getting confused. Modern cars are computer-controlled machines with dozens of modules collecting data every second. When that data gets corrupted, stuck, outdated, or mismatched, the car begins behaving as if it's broken, when in reality it just needs a system refresh. That's what we call a reset. Not a repair, not a replacement, not a mechanical fix, but a reset, a brain refresh, a recalibration, a start fresh command to your car's computer. And here's what shocked most people. There are multiple resets inside your car, and each one fixes a different kind of problem. Most drivers, and even many mechanics, only know one or two of them. Today, I'm giving you the full list of 11 reset procedures that can fix rough idle, bad shifting, throttle lag, bad MPG, weird sensor issues, false codes, and even transmission problems, all without replacing a single part. Before we begin, here's what you need to understand. Resets do work, but not in every situation. If your fuel pump is dead, no reset will fix it. If your spark plugs are worn out, no reset fixes that. If a sensor is physically damaged, no reset will revive it. But if your car is behaving weirdly because of corrupted data, adaptive learning issues, or stuck calibration maps, these resets often restore everything instantly. Now let's start. Reset number 1, full battery reset. Also called the hard reset, power reset, or ECU reset. This clears short-term adaptive memory, resets learned fuel trims, resets idle learning, clears temporary glitches, refreshes modules, and restarts the ECU from a clean state. This reset is useful when your car feels confused after a dead battery, jump start, battery replacement, rough idle for no reason, RPM fluctuations, random stalling, sluggish acceleration, bad fuel economy, or weird shifting. To perform this reset, disconnect both battery terminals, touch the terminals together to discharge remaining energy, then reconnect and start the vehicle. Let it idle without touching the pedals for several minutes so it can relearn. Reset number 2, soft ECU reset using the ignition key. This is for cars where you don't want to disconnect the battery. This reset clears temporary faults, resets throttle and idle logic on many models, and refreshes short-term adaptive memory. Turn the ignition to on, not start. Wait a few seconds, turn it off, repeat multiple times, then start the engine and allow idle relearning. This method is useful after ECU updates, minor hesitation, throttle lag, cold start problems, or rough idle after a battery issue. Reset number 3, throttle/accelerator pedal reset. This reset deals with throttle body confusion. Modern cars use electronic throttle, no cable. The pedal sends signals to a computer, the computer sends signals to the throttle body. When those signals get out of sync, the car gets throttle lag, delayed acceleration, inconsistent RPM, or jerky response. Doing the throttle reset resyncs the accelerator pedal position with the throttle body. This fixes throttle hesitation, poor response when taking off, delayed gear changes on some vehicles, unstable RPM at idle, and poor fuel economy. The procedure varies slightly by brand, but it usually involves key-on without starting, pressing the gas pedal slowly to the floor, holding, then releasing, followed by idle relearning. Reset number 4, idle relearn reset. This reset teaches the car how to idle properly after the battery has been disconnected, the throttle body has been cleaned, the MAF sensor has been cleaned or replaced, or when the engine refuses to hold a stable idle. A dirty throttle body, carbon buildup, or low voltage can cause the ECU to lose its idle calibration. This leads to shaking at idle, RPM dipping, stalling when stopping, or a high idle that won't settle. The idle relearn forces the ECU to rebuild the idle map from scratch. Steps vary by brand, but the goal is always the same. Let the engine idle with no accessories, no throttle input, and no load until it finds its baseline idle. Some cars take 5 minutes, others 20. Reset number 5. Transmission Adaptive Shift Reset. Modern automatics learn how you drive. They adapt shift timing, clutch pressure, and torque converter lockup based on your driving style. If the data becomes corrupted, the car begins shifting poorly. You may feel hard shifts, delayed shifts, slipping sensations, RPM flares, or jerky acceleration. Resetting the transmission adaptive memory clears the learned driving behavior and returns the transmission to factory shift logic. This reset helps when the car shifts too harshly, too softly, too early, too late, or unpredictably, especially after repairs, fluid changes, or driving style changes. After the reset, the transmission relearns gradually over a few days of normal driving. Reset number 6. MAF Sensor Relearn Reset. The mass airflow sensor measures how much air enters the engine. When it gets dirty or replaced, the ECU doesn't always adjust the fuel trims instantly. This leads to rough idle, poor acceleration, hesitation, misfire-like vibrations, bad fuel economy, or sluggish throttle. The MAF Relearn helps the ECU rebuild its airflow and fuel trim tables. This reset is extremely effective after cleaning or replacing the MAF, fixing vacuum leaks, or repairing intake components. It instructs the ECU to flush the old airflow data and start calculating fresh values. Reset number 7. Steering Angle Sensor Reset. Modern cars use a steering angle sensor for traction control, ABS, stability control, lane assist, and electric power steering. When the sensor is off by even a few degrees, the car becomes confused. This can cause traction control lights, ABS lights, stability control warnings, heavy steering, uneven steering feel, wandering, or the car pulling slightly even when the alignment is correct. Performing a steering angle sensor reset recalibrates the steering wheel's center position. After an alignment, battery disconnection, steering component replacement, or hitting a pothole hard, this reset often fixes multiple warning lights instantly. Reset number 8. EGR System Reset. The exhaust gas recirculation system reduces combustion temperatures and emissions by recirculating a small amount of exhaust gas back into the engine. When the EGR valve becomes clogged with carbon, or after it is cleaned or replaced, the ECU often struggles to adjust immediately. You may notice rough idling, hesitation, pinging under acceleration, poor fuel economy, or inconsistent throttle response. An EGR reset allows the ECU to relearn proper flow rates. This helps stabilize engine timing, improves fuel trims, and restores smooth power delivery. It's especially effective after carbon cleaning, EGR replacement, intake cleaning, or resolving misfire issues. Reset number 9. Fuel Trim/Air-Fuel Ratio Reset. Fuel trims are how the ECU adjusts for richer or leaner mixtures based on engine needs. Over time, dirty sensors, vacuum leaks, clogged injectors, or old O2 sensors cause the ECU to store incorrect long-term fuel trim data. This leads to sluggish acceleration, rough idle, black exhaust smoke, higher fuel consumption, and weak power. Resetting the fuel trims forces the ECU to forget all long-term fuel adjustments and rebuild them in real time based on fresh sensor data. This reset is very effective after repairing vacuum leaks, replacing O2 sensors, cleaning injectors, or replacing fuel pumps or MAF sensors. Reset number 10. Throttle Position Sensor/Accelerator Pedal Relearn. Modern cars use electronic throttle bodies instead of cables. The throttle position sensor and the accelerator pedal position sensor must stay in sync. When they fall out of calibration due to carbon buildup, dead battery, throttle body cleaning, or ECU resets, the car may hesitate, surge, lose power, or respond slowly when you press the gas. A throttle and pedal relearn synchronizes the pedal input with the throttle blade movement. This restores smooth acceleration, eliminates delays, and ensures the engine delivers power the moment you need it. This reset is essential after cleaning or replacing the throttle body or when the car feels unresponsive. Reset number 11. EVAP System/Purge Valve Reset. The EVAP system prevents fuel vapors from escaping into the atmosphere. When the purge valve, charcoal canister, or hoses malfunction, the ECU stores incorrect flow and leak data. Even after repairs, the EVAP system often needs a reset before the check engine light will stay off. This reset helps the ECU retest the system from scratch, relearn purge flow characteristics, and verify that the system no longer has a leak. It's useful after replacing the purge valve, fixing EVAP leaks, replacing gas caps, or repairing hoses. After the reset, the car completes its EVAP monitor during driving and confirms whether the system is functioning correctly. Before you start disconnecting batteries and resetting systems, there are a few things you must understand. Resetting a system will not fix a mechanical fault. If a sensor is genuinely bad, if wiring is damaged, or if a component has failed, a reset will only clear the light temporarily. The problem will come right back, sometimes even worse than before. If your check engine light returns within a few miles after a reset, that's your car telling you something real needs attention. Resets should only be used for minor issues, intermittent problems, or after you've actually repaired the cause of the fault. Never reset safety-related systems like ABS, airbags, or stability control unless you've repaired the issue and have the proper tool. These systems protect your life and require precise calibration. Always disconnect the negative battery terminal first and reconnect it last. That prevents accidental short circuits and protects your car's electronics. If you smell burning, hear grinding noises, or see leaks or smoke, do not attempt resets. Those are signs of real mechanical problems that need professional diagnosis. Let's quickly recap the resets. The full ECU reset clears deep memory and fixes issues like rough idle or random check engine lights. The quick ignition cycle reset handles temporary faults without wiping your settings. The Throttle Body Relearn restores proper idle after cleaning. The TPMS reset clears stubborn tire pressure warnings. The Transmission Relearn brings back smooth shifting. The Window and Sunroof Reset restores one-touch functions. The Infotainment Reset fixes frozen screens and Bluetooth problems. The HVAC Calibration fixes temperature inconsistencies. The Steering Angle Sensor Reset solves off-center steering warnings. The Adaptive Headlight Reset repositions misaligned headlights. And the Fuel System Reset clears bad fuel adjustments. Modern cars are computers on wheels. They're constantly learning and adjusting to how you drive. Over time, those learned values become outdated or confused, especially after parts are replaced or after a dead battery. These resets help clear out the bad data and let the system relearn fresh information. Use these resets after maintenance, after fixing a problem, or when your car shows minor issues that aren't caused by mechanical failures. But when a reset doesn't solve it, that is your signal to visit a mechanic. Save this video to refer back to the procedures anytime you need them. Try these resets before paying someone else, but always know your limits. If the problem returns immediately or involves safety systems, go to a professional. Mechanics don't actually hate these resets, we just hate seeing people pay for something they could have done themselves. These are not gimmicks or hacks. They're real automotive procedures your car is built to perform, and knowing them puts you in control of your vehicle and your money. Now that you know how to reset the most common car problems, the next thing you need to learn is how to diagnose them before spending money. In the next video, I'll break down the 7 dashboard warning lights most drivers misunderstand and what each one actually means, whether it's urgent, safe to drive, or completely harmless. If these resets saved you money or solved a problem, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Comment which reset you're trying first, or any vehicle-specific tips you've discovered. I read every comment carefully and often turn your questions into new videos. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best fix is the free one you can do in your own driveway.